He says God cannot be outside of time. Okay. All right. So if I were discussing this online with him in front of the class, I'd say, what does it mean to be outside of time? What does it mean? Well, how's he going to answer it? He doesn't know what it means to be outside of time. Then how are you saying God cannot be outside of time? Because you don't even know what the term means. You don't have any referent for it, but yet you're going to say there's a concept outside of time, which you don't know what it is, and God can't be outside of time, which you don't know what it means. So how would you know that he can or cannot do about something you cannot define and know what it is? First mistake of logic. He cannot do it. His whole premises then falls apart from this right there. If he says God is in time, well, then I'm going to ask him, is he a pantheist or a panentheist? And it's a trick kind of question, because a pantheist says God and the universe are one and the same. A panentheist says God is in the universe. Well, if he's in the universe, is he then subject to the laws of physics and what time is? Another thing I could do is ask him, well, what is time and what theory of time do you hold to? A theory or B theory? Okay, is everything always happening in sequence and things aren't known? Or does everything happen all at once and God is simply knowing them and we're experiencing them sequentially? A theory, B theory. He doesn't know, probably. He doesn't even know what those things are. And he doesn't know who's going to get saved? Well, then how can you impute the sins of people to Christ? Because if the open theist, as lame as that theological position is, well, 1 Peter 2:24 says he bore our sin in his body on the cross. What sin did he bear? For my sin, born 2,000 years after Christ, what sin did he bear if he doesn't even know I'm going to be born or know what sins I'm going to commit? How could he cancel the certificate of debt, the sin debt at the cross? Colossians 2:14. How does he do that if he doesn't know what sins you've committed? And if I have not committed a certain sin, A, B, C, but I have committed a sin, X, Y, Z, well, then which one of those need to be atoned for? Well, he won't know, because God doesn't know what's going to happen. He doesn't know what Jesus is going to do, because Jesus is human, has free will. How's he going to know? Is Jesus going to go to the cross? I don't know. But you know what the God of open theism says a lot of times? You know what he says? He says things like this. Whoops. Oops. I didn't know about that. Oh, I didn't. That's a surprise. That's the God of open theism. How does such a God decree that eternity is going to happen in all things? How does he know that the crucifixion is going to happen? Well, the open theist comes back and says things like, well, he just pushes the generic movements of big things to bring about what he wants. Oh, so now he knows how people are going to react in certain situations. Is he omniscient? Does he know all things present? And we get all these things. It's just so many things he doesn't know about. In 1 Samuel 15:35, he denies open anthropomorphism right away. But look, I take him to Genesis 3. So I say, does God know everything? Some open theists say he does. Everything knowable right now in the present. Good. All right. So did he know where Adam and Eve were in the garden when they hid themselves? Of course he did. Then why did he say, where are you? Because he's speaking anthropomorphically. That's how God works. And for you to be so dismissive of anthropomorphisms is nothing more than an exegetical and logical failure on your part. Biblically speaking, God is the sovereign king over all things. Humanist philosophy elevates man's freedom, man's thinking, man's rationality. Open theism is the exaltation of man's free will. God cannot know the future because man must have free choices. Therefore, God can't ordain what man chooses because man has to be free. It's a humanist philosophy that's been woven into Christian theology, and the combination is heresy.